What's going on, everybody? How are you? Aaron Zamzo here from FireRescueFitness.com. Doing a little, this is a live video broadcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, you've probably not seen it live, but this is offered live. I try to do these a couple times a month to do check-ins with members of the FRF Nation, members that are following FRF programs, or just first responders in general, talking about general health and wellness. Today, we're going to talk about first responder health and fitness optimization. And, optimization is kind of one of those words. A lot of times it's synonymous with performance. I think it is can really include a ton of different topics. But what I really want to focus on today is the basics of optimization for first responders, firefighters, EMTs, paramedics. Here in the U.S., it's summertime, where there are a lot of vacations, a lot of parties, there's a lot of picnics, there's a lot of things that can get you off track from day to day. And personally, I just experienced this, had a great weekend festival, didn't really eat what I should, and of course, had fun. But now I'm back Monday, and it kind of spurred this, back to basics. If you want to optimize, you really just need to focus on being consistent with the basics of, in this case, EMS. Now, don't get your undies in a bundle. EMS here means eating, moving, and sleeping. But I like to use the little acronym there, just to embed into us as first responders. Just to relate it back. But personally, I think if you do focus on EMS and stay consistent with the basics of each one of those, you will optimize your health. You'll be able to perform better on the fire ground. You will have less injuries. You will have a prolonged, more healthy career, and also mentally, you'll be able to withstand just the rigors of the job. I think focusing on eating, moving, and sleeping also help with all the stress management. And that all goes into this optimization. So again, I mentioned EMS, and like I said before, don't get your undies in a bundle, but EMS is really the basics of all first responders' health and wellness. E meaning eating. First and foremost, if you want to start focusing on improving your health, it starts in the kitchen. It starts with what you put in your mouth. And one of the reasons why every single diet plan seems to work is because it, first and foremost, makes everyone stop and think about what they're putting in their mouth, right? So if you're following Mediterranean or vegan or low carb, whatever it is, you always have to ask, okay, is this on the diet plan? And to me, my belief is that brief moment helps you kind of disconnect, the mental side of eating, where we sometimes eat and overeat because of stress. By taking and slowing down and asking that question, a lot of times we make better choices. So when you look at eating, I think that's a great place for us to start. In firehouses all over the country, we have a lot of temptations. There are always cakes, cookies, donuts, whatever it is in front of us. And that's synonymous with also police and EMS. But firehouses were synonymous with that. And a lot of times when you go on that late night call, you walk by the kitchen and there's that stuff. And that's when this whole kind of bad eating habit can start. And so one of the things, to think about is, just because it's there doesn't mean you have to eat it. And if you focus more on just pausing and going, am I really hungry? Do I really need this? It could go a long way. The other basics of EMS and eating is to just really focus on eating fruits and vegetables, because fruits and vegetables have a lot of vitamins, have a lot of nutrients in them. Mom was right. The more vegetables you eat, A, they'll fill you up because they have water in them. B, they do have a lot of nutrients that can help combat stress. And, and then the third part is, as you continually eat them, they also are a good source of energy. So make sure that you focus on eating 4 to 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. The other thing to add with eating is hydration. I know you're not technically eating, but the more hydrated you are, the better your digestive processes are, the better your joints feel. the better you move. It also, there's links to hydration and sleeping. There's also links to hydration and cognitive function. If you're dehydrated, you don't think properly. If you're dehydrated, you don't perform better. So make sure that you stay hydrated. A rule of thumb there is half your body weight in ounces. So for example, I weigh 180 pounds, let's say. So I'm trying to get about 90 ounces a day. If you carry a water bottle or a mug around with you through on the truck and through the firehouse, it's actually a lot easier than you think, especially in the summertime. So hydrate. That's the second part of just the basics of good eating. And then the last part of this is we need to limit sugars. Sugar is linked to so many different health issues. It's addictive, can be as addictive as cocaine. And I think the more sugar you eat, obviously, the more you crave. It's linked to insulin insensitivity when you start to continually digest it. So think about where you're getting your sugar and where you can limit it. I'll tell you, the biggest thing I see is that we drink our sugars in the firehouse, typically in teas or I don't even know what concoction that is that a lot of times people put on the table. It's just big, they just start mixing stuff together, and I think every firehouse has one. A great substitute is just to throw a bunch of lemons and limes together and put them in a pitcher of water. Throw that on the table instead. But don't drink your sugar. Try to limit to anywhere from 30 to 45 grams underneath that of added sugar a day. And the second part of that is to read labels. Initially I was talking about one of the reasons why diets work is because it forces you to think about what you're eating. I think if you could start to incorporate that habit in just your everyday eating and nutrition, you're going to see improvements, and you're going to start to monitor what you eat based on how you feel instead of what you mentally need. So I think that's one of the best ways to do it. So first things first, improve and optimize through EMS. Eating. Eat your veggies, eat your veggies, hydrate, and limit your sugars. Next, move. You got to move more throughout the day. There's a lot of research that shows that sitting is actually the new smoking. Those that sit for more than 3 to 4 hours a day, there's a link to diabetes, heart disease, a stroke, a lot of the different health issues. So get up and move more throughout the day. The 10,000 steps, maybe you don't need that many. I like to bring it down to say 8,500 steps, right around that. A watch, or now there's so many different ways we could track it with a phone. But what it does is it just forces you to move more through the day. And that's why I really like to use it. On the days where I'm here and I'm sitting behind the desk, I'll notice a huge difference from when I'm in the firehouses. So I try to then get up every 30 minutes or so and walk around, do something to get my steps in. And it just makes for more calories burned, more movement. I feel better throughout the day. And then the second part is work out 30 minutes every single day. Now, workout does not have to be physical per se. It can be a recovery workout. It can be some light stretching. It can be some just deep breathing. To me, that is also part of the physical side, and the recovery side they're all considered workouts. You might just foam roll for 10 or 15 minutes. I played softball for the first time all year. I don't know, we played 4 or 5 games. So obviously my workout today is recovery, biking, foam rolling, and actually ice plunge or a little cold bath as well. And whatever I can to start to help with recovery. But that's considered a workout. And I say every single day because what I found is if I take a day off, that day will turn to 2, 3, 4. So even if I'm traveling or in the instance where I'm playing softball, I can go and stretch for 15, 20 minutes. I could take the dog for a walk. I consider that the same thing as a workout. So dedicate 30 minutes every single day to some type of physical activity, workout, recovery, stretch. And then the last part of this is be functional. What I mean by be functional is look at what you do as a first responder and make sure that your workouts or your movement will help you do those movements on the rescue scene or the fire scene. I see this a lot, the old bench press. I pick on it a lot, but bench and heavy over the course of your career is going to do nothing for you other than get to your shoulders messed up. Not saying don't do it, but what I'm saying is start to incorporate in other things, core work, because we have every single movement on the fire ground and rescue scene involves the core. So make sure you're doing core work. Mobility, I think, is one of the most important things that's overlooked. Even if you're in your younger or early 20s, the better you move, the more mobile you are, believe it or not, the stronger you can get. Number one, and number two, the better you perform because you're able to move better and faster and quicker. So I think mobility is probably one of the most important things. Core, and then I personally, if you're just getting started in the field of being a first responder, firefighter, EMT, paramedic, even police, full body functional training. The body part training stuff really doesn't, I believe, help you at first because, again, it goes back to every single movement we do involves every single muscle group. You never really isolate. My joke is only if you're a chief and you're talking on the radio and you got a point. Yeah, fire's over there, emergency's over there. That's the only isolation I've ever seen. So with that in mind, when you're talking about exercising, and the M of the EMS is move more throughout the day, dedicate 30 minutes to working out, whether that's stretching, even just taking a leisurely walk, breathing, yoga. That's all part of this. Every single day, do something. And then be functional. Think about what are the movements we do on the fire ground? Am I working on them through the workout time? Am I working to be more mobile, stronger core, and work full body movements that will transfer to dragging hose or moving patients or even doing chest compressions, whatever your task would be. So that's the M of the EMS. So what's the S? Sleep, of course. So sleep. I know right away, first responders kind of go, oh, yeah, right. Like, how can I control that when I'm working a 24-hour shift and I can't control the calls? I'll give you that. But there are things that we could do. I've been reading a lot, researching a lot. Personally, I think our shift work is one of the things that kills us. And you're going to start to see a lot more attention brought to that as the data just continually compiles. I think 4-shift is the way that we should be all pushing and trying to get to. Probably not going to have a lot of fans in support of that, but I do believe as more and more research becomes available, it's one of the most evident things is that we need time between our sleep deprived shifts to recover. And just touching on that, where the 4-shift gives you at least 2 to 3 days, which you need 48 to 72 hours to recover from a sleepless night or a highly stressful shift filled night. And a lot of times the 48s and 24 96s and all of those different combinations don't allow for it. We work a modified California, we call it, with a furlough, and it's honestly the worst because you could work a Monday. And let's say, for instance, your schedule is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You work that Monday. If you get hammered on that Monday with calls, of course, and don't get a lot of sleep, Tuesday, you're not going to recover in time for your Wednesday shift. And then if you get hammered again with more shifts or more calls on that shift, you're a walking zombie. And I've seen it with a lot of my fellow, coworkers that you get behind the 8 ball on that, and it's just really, really hard. So what happens then is we start to lower our optimization. So we feel like, hey, I'm optimized. I can handle this. No, you can't. There is, a lot of research that shows that everyone, except for like 0.001% of the population, can actually function 100% on less than 7 hours of sleep. So for most of us, we want to aim for 7 to 9. And going back to us as shift workers here on the fire side and EMS side, and when you're at home, try to get that 7 to 9 hours. When you're at the firehouse, maybe try to go to bed even an hour earlier to see if you could get through to somewhere around that number based on call volume. The other part of this is try to go to bed at the same time every single night. The consistency will help you sleep more efficiently and better. There's, again, a lot of research on this. Why We Sleep is a good book by Matthew Walker. There are quite a few other ones out there that I've been reading lately that they just really open your eyes to how much sleeping is a skill and how much we really need to work on it. The other thing that I think we can take from all the research that's coming out is that powering down about an hour before, meaning turning off all your electronic devices, or at least not totally engaged in them, can really help your body and your melatonin levels get to a point where it'll help you sleep and fall asleep faster and more efficiently. And I think those are the basics of sleep that we should all start with. Try to aim for 7 to 9, same time every night, just powering down. There are other things though too. I mean, obviously you want to try to sleep at a little bit a lower temperature. I think 69 or 68 degrees is optimized, or is the optimal temperature. Get a good mattress. Try to obviously make your sleeping area conducive to sleep, so it's dark, it's quiet, and all of these things we can do without changing our schedules up. And of course, there's going to be many more discussions on that. But for now, the basics and the fundamentals of optimization of our health as first responders is to consistently eat well, eat healthy, veggies, hydrate, limit sugars, move consistently, at least 8,500 steps a day, work out 30 minutes every day, whether that's a physical, like actual lifting heavy weight workout and or recovery, and then make sure that we're more functional, working on mobility, working on core strength. And then lastly, sleep, focusing on getting 7 to 9 hours consistently, as consistently as we can, going to bed at the same time, powering down, and having a good sleep environment. To me, those are really the basics that, when done consistently, will lead to really 98% of the optimization. Consistently working out, consistently moving, consistently eating well, you'll see that your weight will drop, your energy levels will climb, and even your mood will improve. So if you are in a rut or you need to make some changes, go back to these basics. Don't worry so much about the fad diet, or the workout of the week or workout of the day. Start slowly and work on improving your EMS. And with that, though, if you're looking for a workout program, I have a 28-day, I call it a Catalyst program. It shows you some great workouts you can do. There's something that we do every single day. Again, a 30-minute walk with some good breathing and stretching that's a workout, especially if it's part of a bigger picture plan. Now, I like to do every single week, look at what my workouts are going to be, where my challenges will be, and try to be proactive about working out, making sure that I always get something in. And I think that is also a key, is plan these things out. Make sure that you have veggies available. If you're going to try to eat more veggies, make sure you buy them. If you don't want to eat the junk and the sugar, don't buy it. Kids, I know, well, I do it for my kids. Well, your kids don't need the sugar either, right? So think about that. Prepare. If you typically sit at a desk and get caught for hours on end, set a timer for every 30 minutes, getting up and walking around for 5 minutes. If you're really, really poor at sleep and you're waking up and not being and feeling energized, focus on that. You could take each one of these one at a time. Where you see the most results and the most consistency, obviously, is to do them all together. So focus on EMS, eating, moving, and sleeping. Optimize your health. Continually come back to the FRF channel, whether you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and please reach out with any questions you have. Thoughts, please leave them in the comments or email me. You can reach me at firerescuefitness.com / contact us. It's just me. My dog no longer answers any darn emails, so it's all me. Let me know how I can help you out. Thanks again for listening and watching. Stay safe. Keep making progress.